Let's take a look at another stellium as we focus on this Gemini lineup of planets here. And this occurred May 28th, 1968. That's the date of this chart, which is important when we consider, of course, the moon, the transiting moon in this mix. So as you can see in this chart, every personal planet is in Gemini, starting at the beginning of the sign with Venus at 1 degrees, the Sun, Mars, Moon, and then the ruling planet Mercury here at the critical anaretic degree of 29 degrees of Gemini. So in this energy field, we have a lot going on that highlights major themes in this life around the mind, teaching, speaking, communications, playing with possibilities, being open to new information, how to use the new information, what to do with it, how to allow it to benefit the life journey. When we have a super stellium like this, when we have a super Gemini soul, this is certainly a lifetime of mastery in the Gemini expressions. And with the ruling planet at that final degree, important choices, important truths and understandings are meant to be expressed and spoken. Now, with this particular lineup, the Sun and the Moon are here, right? As are the other three personal planets. And when there is this focal point of energy, it can all feel like it blends together. Because there is such a strong lineup across the full 30 degrees, nearly 30 degrees of Gemini, there can even be a stickiness here between the planets where it feels like we're all on the same team. All the planets are working together. There can be a lack of separation, even though they're not all exactly conjunct. It's a bit like a pinball machine where the energy just ricochets around, bounces off each other, and is in a lot of movement. So here we have the need in this lifetime to really understand, to learn, and to arrive at conclusions, to ultimately make choices and decisions that support what one wants, even if it's for the short term. Because this is mutable air, this is someone who needs short-term projects, endeavors, things to focus on so that you can honor that Gemini need to move on to the next thing. Honoring that Gemini energy likes variety, wants to try something different, wants to play over here and then go over there. Movement is very important. There can be a lot of quick movement. There can be movement before thinking it through. So this is also about aligning with what is being decided and making sure that that's the direction that will really pay off, or that's really what the intentional use of energy is. This can also be, of course, the mind being too active, overworked, over-processing, too much to consider. And then we have other factors to play into that, right? So let's go next here to Pluto and Uranus, each in Virgo, squaring the Moon and Mercury. Those are the direct squares here to the Moon and how the emotional processing occurs, and of course the Mercury mind. And I feel that with this square from both of these planets here, there is a desire to get it right, to be better, constant improvement, up to the point of always second guessing oneself, not knowing if you can relax or let something settle. There is a deep pressure here to do it better next time, to approach something in a new way. There can be a lot of breakthroughs that happen with this square where it's like, oh, I see where I did it the first time. Now the second time I'm going to improve it and work on it. This Virgo energy strives for greater improvement, but can be such a critic at times that there's a sense of I can't rest until I've taken care of this. This can be a very active nervous system here with this very strong Virgo, which is the mind and the body, applying pressure to the Gemini, which is both sides of the brain, as well as both sides of the body, including both lungs, both arms, hands, fingers, and the need here to allow yourself to breathe deeply in order to feel grounded and not, I'm getting the visual of energy locked, of like it just moves back and forth, that pinball machine here, but it also can feel quite restless. And so this would need to bring in an important grounding process and a release mechanism so that the mind and the body are not overwhelmed by all the energy that's coming through here. There's also strong independence, and I feel that the push here relates to previous lifetimes of doing things for someone else and being in that state of service, which is a Virgo asset, but can also be a liability where it's like I'm always doing this for others and I'm wanting to make them happy, to support them, I'm wanting to improve myself for the sake of something more, for something bigger. And so the Virgo energy is actually meant to evolve, which I'm sure it has throughout one's life. And to understand that now you're in charge here. You're meant to make your own decisions and trust what's correct for you, what feels right, what aligns with the essence of what you want to create, teach, learn, study, communicate, even, organize it in a very useful way. This could be the specific development of a skill set, especially one that involves the hands and the mind, and being a great solution seeker. I mean, this is someone who can solve multiple problems at once. It's like a great consultant that you bring in who sees, okay, this is what we can do. This is what needs to change. Let's try this. Very active mind here who can also understand what's not working and what is outdated. But the pressure here is to take all of your variety of knowledge and experience and use it in a way that ultimately simplifies and provides a clear direction to move towards. And so we have this strong mind. We have this pressure from the reality of what works and what doesn't, results that need to come through, even feeling guilt and stress around what's not working. This, of course, is a generational influence that happened throughout most of the 1960s. These are the individuals who came in to give us new ways of being entrepreneurs, new ways of working for ourselves, understanding what skills are needed and what are not, changing up the workforce, and also becoming more aware of the power of your skills and how to apply them in effective ways. I feel that this generation is also going to be bringing in some powerful new energy healing modalities that we're going to be reconciling and learning about. I mean, this is a supreme teacher here too. When there's a lot of Gemini, you have a lot of information to dispense and share. It's about organizing it in a way that is effective and understanding how it can reach people, especially through the power of language, information, the best ways to get things across to others that relates to their individual Mercuries. And so this pressure, again, going back to this square, is about self-improvement and maybe even holding oneself to impossible standards of, I could always do more, it's never enough, let's switch it up again, let's change it up again. And that's part of the strong energy signature of this chart. Now, the other things that come into play show up through the fire signs, where we have this Jupiter at 27 Leo, which connects beautifully to that moon and Mercury, giving a creative outlet from the pressure of the square, because it is this moon and Mercury that have the most pressure in the chart. It's that emotional tension, and it's the sense of needing to calm the brain, calm everything that's processing here. And this Jupiter provides creative outlets that also bring about strength and clarity of, this is what I'm going to choose. This is what I'm going to do. It feels colorful, expansive, creative, happy. This is how I'm going to work with the tension and make something out of it that I'm truly proud of. Then we also have over here this Saturn, 21 degrees of Aries, also supporting that moon, also giving a sense of decision making and independence to what is being selected, I feel like this is reminding someone to be in your body and listen to your own authority. That isn't just simply in the mind, but it's coming back into listening to that Aries, the pulsing heartbeat, listening to that movement of what strengthens you. Make a choice here. This helps with decision making. When you're considering two things, this stabilizes. And in fact, this Saturn is important for that moon in stabilizing the emotional processing and bringing it back to what counts for the long term. And then also, I would consider that this Saturn at 21 trines Jupiter. I think that they're within an orb there that matches. And so this is that creative life force of, once you make a decision, this is what I'm going to do with it to make it real. We have this Chiron at 2 degrees of Aries, sextiling this Venus, also sextiling the Sun, both in Gemini. And so again, this brings the energy back to self and what this individual is here to do in a new way in this lifetime, but to do so in a way that it's okay to ask for support. You might not always feel like you can do it on your own, but you are here to listen to more of your gifts. Chiron in Aries slows down that Aries influence. Same with Saturn. It's a slowdown to listen to more of those internal messages that aren't just in the mind, and to feel into what the softer parts of you have to say. And the development of courage in this lifetime, especially with that North Node in Aries, the courage to do it on your own, to go your own path, to not be locked into or reliant upon others, which is what the South Node in Libra is about. It's like, okay, well, do I need to compromise this, talk it through with other people, hear what they have to say and weigh the pros and cons? No. That North Node in Aries is choose this direction. This can bring in the role of the father, the biological father, mentors, people that you look up to show you how to be strong on your own and go your own way, which does serve the energies here in Gemini of self-sufficiency and trusting the brilliance of your own mind. In this chart, we only have one planet in a water sign, which is this Neptune at 24 degrees of Scorpio retrograde, which does work nicely with the two planets here in Virgo, but it's the only planet in the water element of feeling and trusting what is coming up for you. So this could be part of that internal battle where the mind always seeks that information and is overpowering what you feel, overpowering the heart, and could be afraid to trust, which is part of how this Neptune in Scorpio can reveal in one's life, is like, okay, well, if I'm not sure if I can trust someone else with what I need or what's important to me, then I just turn back into myself and I will go my own direction, which is what this person's life is about. It's important to understand that some people are here to go their own way and to not hold back who they are or compromise what they need for others. This is a very independent energy here. This is very much about learning to create a life on your own terms that gives you ongoing inspiration to try something new, to stay engaged. I mean, this is, of course, a lot of conversation, a lot of interactions, having people to bounce ideas off of and share your world with, creating from your own internal world. I mean, this is a strong storyteller, a very strong storyteller. And so when we have a strong lineup in one sign, when there's a stellium like this, it means that there is a bigger life focus, not only on these themes, but there's bigger chapters in one's life as the transiting planets come through and activate the stellium over a period of years. So depending on which transiting planet is interacting with this Gemini stellium will determine what the Gemini energy is learning next. So there's certainly the willingness to learn. What am I meant to see and understand? What can I then do something with it after having these experiences? So this is not only the student, but the teacher, which we all are. And this is being able to filter out what's excessive and not necessary and work with what is essential and use it and perhaps even pass it on. So here in 2025 and into even 2026 and beyond, we know that transiting Uranus is going to be entering Gemini, making conjunctions to each of these planets and accelerating them. Oh yes, it's about to get exciting for those planets in Gemini, as Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. And so here comes Uranus breaking up anything that has been too redundant, like it's just been spinning in the same story, the same information. Uranus brings the breakthroughs that are fast moving, cosmic, quick, and very unsettled. Uranus is going to make a conjunction, and as it does so, activate even more potentials here that are going to bring each of these planets alive at a whole new level. So this means changes in lifestyle, communication, languages, education. I feel that Uranus in Gemini is going to be activating new ways of learning, new topics, new fields of study, new things we're meant to sit with and figure out and discuss. This is certainly going to be quite quantum, definitely multidimensional. And because Uranus wants to take us off planet, Uranus is bringing these energies into more of our everyday environments. So new ways of learning, like new education, transportation. This is going to be life-changing developments for all planets in Gemini. It's going to be more exciting, more to do, more places to go, more to learn, and then figuring out what to do with it. There is a big restlessness here when Uranus gets to Gemini. Very restless, even ungrounded, which can feel like you're trying to remain in the body. I think that one of the best ways to do that is through the breathing of the air signs, of taking intentional deep breaths into the body. So needing those daily practices, the yoga, the intentional breathing techniques that remind you that your body, you got to fill up all of your lungs, both lungs here, and to not be too quick or too short with it, looking for those grounding practices. I mean, you can hear it in my voice, right? My voice just started picking up. I was like, blah, 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 blah. That's this energy. Molly, take some deep breaths, girl. So we're going to need intentional slowdowns. It could be high strung. It could be activating more parts of our nervous system and what's been dormant in our minds. Exciting breakthroughs. Yes, exciting breakthroughs. But then also looking at, okay, is this useful? Do I do anything with it? Or is it just meant to pass through? And then when we look at any planets in the early degrees of Aries, we know that Neptune and Saturn are in Aries, working with this Chiron. and is going to be it's going to bring up new questions on what am I supposed to do next? Feeling the pressure to figure it out and do something on your own. But any planet conjunct Chiron is going to show you what needs to still be healed. But I feel like this Chiron holds our starseed energies. And so there's going to be new parts of yourself that come online. You're figuring out how to work with it and understanding. It's like a learning curve. It's like, okay, I'm doing this in a whole new way. And I don't even know who I am anymore. It brings up big questioning around that self-identity and self-concept. It brings up a sense of who am I now? And can I do this? Can I do this? So we're entering this very fascinating new realm of experiences that people with Aries and Gemini are feeling quite personally with these planets and placements and the transiting planets. So here on my YouTube channel, I have a playlist that's about astrology charts through different years. And the focus of the playlist is to look at these unique lineups and to discuss them more, knowing that not everyone has them, but I hope it gives you some more information to apply to your own chart and to even understand in yourself during these very big times. So I will be doing more of these super stelliums for you. Hope you enjoyed this, and do check out that playlist to see if there's more over there that would relate to your own chart. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you back here soon.